Hey everyone, this is part 2 of a 5-part video series on how you can start making 10K weeks, months, and days. So in the first part, I did the foundation. And so now we're gonna go into the main topic of how you can make 10K weeks, months, and days. And instead of doing it in one video, like I originally said, I'm gonna break it into 4 videos because then I'll be able to go into more depth on each piece. So there are 4 steps to getting to the 10K weeks, months, and days, according to this model that I've used and that my clients have used. I'm John Patrick Muller. Many of my students have had 10K months, 10K weeks. Some of them have had 10K days. Some have had 200K launches, and I have personally done pretty well too. And I'm showing you now from my own experience of what works for me and for my clients. Okay? And so the first step of these 4 steps is to build a presentation and a process. To build a presentation and a process. So your presentation can have different styles, right? It could be a live workshop, which is how I kind of started my business. It could be Facebook Lives. It could be a PDF document that you go over people on a one-to-one call. It could be a 5-day challenge. It could be a pre-recorded video that you pop onto a web page. It could be a combination of these things. I've used all the above and I recommend all the above. If there's some type of presentation that you give to people in a group format before the one-to-one call starts. And for some of us, we do one-to-one calls. And for those of us who do one-to-one calls, sometimes there's like a sales document, like a PDF, like a 1-pager that you can go over with people on the one-to-one call. Okay, so hopefully this isn't too complex. But what I'm saying is that there's different styles of presentation and there's different styles of process. Getting people onto a web page and then having them book a call. Getting them into a live workshop and then having them book a call. Getting them into a live workshop and then selling on the call. Getting them into a live challenge that's happening inside a Facebook group and either selling or then booking a call. There's lots of different styles of process, but you need to have one. And you need to have one that you like, and you should probably try out a couple different styles of these to figure out which ones that you like the best and which ones your audience responds to best. But right now, I'm going to go over 12 different steps that your presentation needs to have in it to be successful. Okay, so these are 12 steps and they apply to any of the styles, whether it's a PDF 1-pager that you go over with people on a one-to-one call, whether it's a Zoom workshop or a 5-day challenge or a pre-recorded video on a page, or anything else that you can imagine. Whatever your presentation and process is, you're gonna want these 12 steps to be part of it. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna go over with you right now. And if you are lucky, you should have a pen and a notepad with you so you can take notes so that you can implement, because this video will give you a lot of actionable advice and you can implement directly from this video. And I hope that you do, and I hope that you have successes with it. Okay, and the reason I said lucky is because it's fortunate if we're inspired enough to take action. A lot of people are not inspired enough to take action, and they're just not fortunate, right? They're lacking fortune. If you have good fortune, then your heart kind of ignites when you hear good advice like this, and you're gonna wanna take notes, and then you're gonna wanna take action. So I hope that you are one of those people, and if you want additional help implementing these things and building it all, you can book a call with our team below. And I'd love to help you even more. Okay, so here we go. Here are the 12 steps. Number 1, these are like 12 things to sell them on. Sales is kind of like the main skill in the universe. It's the art of energy exchange, isn't it? There's some sort of exchange happening. There's a portal that has 2 sides. There's the one side that pulls people in, and then there's the one side that delivers the value. And you need to be able to exchange value with people. That's what entrepreneurs do. That's what business owners do. You're a value exchanging magician. You're a value exchanging professional, right? You're a value exchanging machine. That's what you do. That's the art of your business, is value exchange. And that's sales. Okay? And so I never want to admit this because I avoided sales. I was so resistant to sales, and so that's why I feel qualified to share this with you. And hopefully, because I've gotten over these triggers myself, hopefully you can learn to decondition any negative resistance you have to this word sales. Okay? It just means empowering people with the belief, and it also means some sort of energetic exchange. Okay, so the first one is you need to kind of sell them or empower them with the belief to watch. And so you essentially are going to have a headline. There's some sort of headline that explains the benefit. For example, would you like to make 10K weeks, months, and days in your heart-centered business? Right? In this video, I'm going to show you how to make 10K weeks, months, and days in your heart-centered business. Right? One of my first headlines was blast your business into fairy tale status. Blast your business into fairy tale status. Another one that I've had was align into abundance and magnetize dream clients. Right? Align into abundance and magnetize dream clients. Right? That is a headline. So the headline is like a promise. It's essentially an aspirational promise. You're getting them to, it's a directive and aspirational promise. You're getting them to look in the direction of something that they want, to feel inspired by it, to want it, but you're also directing them towards something. Align into abundance is not just an aspirational phrase that gets you to feel good and want something bigger than yourself. It's also a command. You're telling them what to do. Do this, right? Magnetize dream clients. It's actually a command, right? Magnetize dream clients. You're telling them what to do. You're directing them. But you're also painting the picture of something that they want and getting them to say, yes, I want this. So a good headline has these two qualities. And your headline is essentially, it's a promise that you're also going to articulate in the first moments of your presentation. So the first thing that you say should be the same thing as your headline. It's a promise of what they're going to get in the thing. You're essentially affirming their decision for watching. You're telling them, yes, you're in the right place because we're going to do this, right? If I opened up my video and the last thing I talked about was aligning into abundance and magnetizing dream clients, people would not want to stay on the video for very long, right? They would not know they're in the right place. So you start out by affirming their decision to be there and by sort of reiterating your promise that you used to get them in there in the first place. Now, good headlines need to leave some things to the imagination, and they don't tell you the answer of how it's going to happen yet. Any how-to should be released from your headline. You do not want to tell them the methodology that is going to be used to get them the result. You're going to paint them the picture of the result, get them to want it, and even direct them towards it, and even promise that you will help them to learn how to do this. But you don't tell them how the how-to happens. You don't tell them the vehicle, right? That's very important because people will shut down. When you tell them the how-to, they shut down a little bit. A lot of people are like, oh, I already know that, or oh, I don't want that. It's not time for that yet. Okay, so the first thing you do is you empower them with the belief that they should be watching this. In other words, sell them on watching the presentation or consuming it. Okay, with your headline, with your promise. Then the next part, number 2, is you're going to sell them, or essentially get them to want to stay to the end. You get them to want to stay to the end. Okay, so you can do that by saying, stay to the end, because at the end we're going to do this. At the end, everyone who's on at the end, I'm going to give them away. I'm going to give away something for free, right? I'm going to do an activation. We used to do a free, we called it a fairy tale activation, and it happened at the end of our live things. And we told people in the beginning, welcome to this workshop because we're going to help you to blast your business into fairy tale status and stay to the end, because at the end we're going to do a free activation for you to help you to get there. Right? So now you've sold them on not just the fact that they should be there, but that they should stay to the end. Okay? The next thing that you sell them on is focusing and giving you their attention. You could be on, but paying half attention. These days, especially online, you could be looking at lots of other things. You could be on your phone, you could be scrolling, you could be making dinner, you could be doing lots of things. You could have the TV out in the background, and you want to get people to focus and to pay attention. So then you kind of command attention. You can say like, during this presentation, we're going to teach you these things and it could change your life. In fact, this could be the most important hour that you invest into yourself and into your business that you spent all year. And so what I ask is that you give us your full attention. Close down your other browsers, turn off your phone. Just be here now. Be here now, and I'm going to deliver this value to you, and I want you to receive it fully. So you're selling them on focusing. You're getting them to commit to focusing. Okay, that's the third thing that you do in the presentation. By the way, I learned a lot of this from someone named Russell Brunson. If you want to look him up, he's amazing. And I've learned a lot of this from him and from other people, and also from implementing it into my life. Okay? So the fourth part is you're selling them on you. Now you finally introduce yourself. You don't actually introduce yourself up until this point. Number 4 is where you introduce yourself first. And you don't just introduce yourself, it's called qualifying yourself. You introduce yourself and you give your credentials. It means you tell a little story about how you were just like them and now you have the results that they want. The essence of a story is, hey everyone, I was just like you and here's a bit of my background. And look, I started out just kind of like what you are, but yet I've achieved these results that you want, right? And today I want to help you to get there. That's what qualifying yourself really means in the essence, but you can give any other qualifications that you have, such as, I was a Buddhist monk, I have a degree in psychology, I have this certification, I have that certification. I've helped this many people get to this result. I've helped myself get to these results. Whatever, right? It's okay. This is the part where you can do some humility brags, some humble brags. You do want to stay humble because it will turn people off if you don't, but you can find a way to be humble and still include the highlights of some of the good things that you've done. It's a micro version of your story. You're telling your story, but you're leaving the middle part out. You're telling the beginning of your story and you're telling the end of your story, but you're not going to tell them anything from the middle, right? A lot of good movies do this. They set you up in the beginning by telling you the beginning and the end, and they leave at the middle, and then you're like, how did that happen, right? It's attainable for me because they started out just like me, but they're there. How did they do that? And they're like, I want to find out. And then the person says, you would say, and today I'm going to show you how. Today I'm going to show you the 4 steps of how I was able to do that. Today I'm going to show you the 3 keys, the 5 secrets, the 7 shifts, the 9 quantum leaps, whatever, right? You're going to have a certain number of things that you're going to share with them, and then you tell them, now, here is what I'm going to share with you today. That's why we're here. Now people are interested to learning the main content. You've sort of sold them on yourself, but you've also sold them on consuming with high interest, with high intensity even, the main content of what you're here to share with them. They're going to lean in to learn this from you. Okay? Very, very, very important that you do this. So that's number 4. And then number 5 is that bigger results are possible. You sell them on this belief that bigger results are possible. I like to do this. I like to say, just for a minute, before we go into the main content, just imagine. Just imagine that you already have these results that you want. Just step into this. Feel that you're already doing blah, 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 the thing that we're going to do. You're already there. Your life is there. Your business is there. And whatever, new clients are coming every month, and your partner looks at you with a certain expression and you feel this way and blah, blah, blah. Step into this now. Feel this now. Be in this now. I want you to experience what this is really like, because today, this is what we're going to create for you. Okay? And if you want to learn more about working with us, you can book a call, or you can stay to the end. We're going to make you a special offer because we can help you do this. But today I want to share with you these secrets of how you can do it. So there's actually 2 parts to that. Your bigger results are possible. You're going to let them step into it now through using the word imagine. And then when they're there, kind of plant the little seed that you help people do this in some sort of private program. You have an offer, you have some way that helps people to do this thing. Okay? You can tell them to book a call, or you can tell them at the end, I'll share more about it. But either way, plant that seed while they're in that state of imagining it. So that's number 5, that bigger results are possible. Okay, I hope that you're writing this down. And all this so far is the introduction. This is the introduction to the presentation. Depending on the format, if you're doing a video on a page, then this part is going to be relatively short. It might be 5 minutes. If you're doing like a workshop, like a Zoom live thing, this part might be 15 minutes. If you're doing a 5-day event or whatever in person, this part might be 90 minutes. I don't know. But for most of the people that I work with, this part is anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes. Okay? And that's what I've done. Okay? Number 6. Now we're into like the main content here. In the main content, now people make the mistake of trying to sell their offer. That is not what this type of presentation is about. Your presentation doesn't actually sell your offer. Interesting. I know that's interesting, but the presentation isn't designed to sell your offer. What it does is sell other things. You sell the concept, you sell the message, you sell the model, you sell the method, you sell the process. You sell them on the belief that they can do it, right? You're selling and transferring the belief of many things, but not the offer. People who have a background in sales or who think a lot about sales might make that mistake of going right for the offer, but what that does is it turns a lot of people away, because only people who are ready to buy something are interested in that right now. Instead, you sell other things, and then your offer becomes obvious and a no-brainer. You want your offer to be completely like a no-brainer. And that will happen naturally if you do these other parts right. So the first one, number 6, is selling them on the model. In the last video, I talked about constructing a model out of particular truths that paint like a roadmap or like a map. It paints like a map or a model of reality in which the results look possible. They can see where they're at, they can see where the results are at, and they can see the landscape of how they're going to get there. There's particular truths that you use to build. That's called a model. You're selling them on the model. Another word for this would be like paradigm. You're going to show them a new paradigm, right? There's a new paradigm. For example, abundance is your birthright, and all you have to do is return to your natural state of abundance. That's a paradigm. That isn't even a methodology yet. That's not a process. That's not a method. That is a paradigm because it's a belief. Look for, when you're constructing this for yourself, you look for ways that you, when you talk about what you do, look for yourself saying a belief. This is how I help my clients. I listen until they tell me a core, fundamental, foundational belief that they can then build on to construct why their special methodology or modality makes sense. Okay? I'm going to say that again because that's really important. Your modality, your methodology, your process makes sense because it's built on a couple key premises. There's a premise, there's like a key premise that you construct on, that you build on. It's like the ground, and you build the rest of it upon that. That's one way of thinking about this. It's a foundational premise. It's a belief, right? For example, one of my clients said there are 4 bodies: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. And when these are out of balance, you have, you're not healthy, you have poor health, and you are not happy. And when these are in sync with each other, then you have happiness and health that arise automatically. That is a premise, that is a belief, that is a model, right? It's not even a method yet. It's not a vehicle yet, because it's just a statement of a belief system. Somebody could say that belief and walk away, and there's no business, there's no offer, right? That's not a full message, but it's the starting point of a message. So I call it a model or a paradigm or a premise. It's also a map, okay? And you need to give this to your clients. Another type would be people say the body will automatically return to health if you just get out of its way. Health is the body's natural state. And if you get out of its way, your body will return to a state of health. I believe that this is true, right? But that's not really a method yet. The method would be, and here's our special way of removing the blockages that are interrupting your body's natural process. That would be a method, right? A method is a modality. That's step number 7. So step number 6 is the model, the paradigm, the premise. What else is there? I sold a spiritual coaching program years ago where I said that we have different grooves in our mind, and that our spiritual groove is the one that when we get into this spiritual groove, we have the best life. The best things happen for us when you're in the spiritual groove, and that when you're in the groove, it's relatively easy to stay in the groove. The hard part is that when you fall out, it's hard to get back in. And so I have a process now for how we're going to get in and stay in the spiritual groove. And so you can say there's a belief somewhere in there, right? The belief is like, when you're in the spiritual groove, your life goes amazing. That's the core belief. And then the method is like, getting in the spiritual groove is the key to the best life. So number 7 is your vehicle, your method, or your new way. Just stay with me here. I know there's a lot of stuff. Just bear with me. Number 7 is the vehicle, the method, or the new way. So you're selling people on that you have a special method for traversing this model, right? You have some sort of way that takes people from where they are to where they want to be according to this model or this paradigm, okay? The one that I use in my business is called presence marketing, right? The model is the alignment thing that I shared. When you're aligned, then everything works. And when you're not aligned, when your business and your soul's mission are not aligned, it won't work. But when they are aligned, it does work. And so we're gonna align you up. And then once you're aligned, the method that we use is called presence marketing. You use your presence as your marketing, you use your marketing as your presence, so that wherever you show up, you magnetize people to work with you, right? So we use that. That's a special method. Now that's a vehicle. I teach people how to use that vehicle. My program is all about getting people who are using the vehicle to have success, okay? Teaching them how to use their presence as their marketing, teaching them how to use their marketing as their presence, okay? That's part of what I do, and it's a very low-tech solution because you can go on social media and you can get clients without having websites and funnels and ads and a team and a budget. You don't need any of those things, and you can have success, okay, if you use your presence as your marketing and marketing within your presence. So that's my method, right? You can have your own. So your method is really the thing that's for sale. You're going to sell the method. Your program is just a way of fulfilling on the method, right? You use the presentation to get people salivating over your method or your new way. It's called a new way, right? The old way is that you need ads and websites and funnels and a team and a budget to have success online. But the new way is that you don't need any of those things. You just need presence marketing. You just need to show up with the right energy, with the right words, and people will say, yes, I want to work with you. They'll book calls on your calendar, and they'll pay in full sometimes for your stuff, having just met you, because the energy and the words were both right, and they both spoke to both sides of a person and made them want to work with you, okay? So that is the new way of doing it. It allows you to pull people off of social media into your programs directly without having the complications of tech in between, okay? And so that is the vehicle. It's the method, it's the new way, and it's something proprietary. Sometimes we call it the unique method. It is something that it's transformational, but it's unique in that you don't ever hear other people talking about it. Sometimes we find the vehicle, we find what you're already doing to get results, and we give it a new name. For example, you might be using a blend of different modalities right now. Maybe some of it is your own gifts. Maybe some of it are in modalities that you have learned along the way. But right now, your clients are getting results because of a blend of a couple modalities plus your own unique gifts. And if we can find what that is and put our finger out and like label it, give it a name, coin a new term to that vehicle, now you have a unique method, right? If you simply call it a blend of other people's methods, it doesn't feel that special and it's hard to sell. We need to understand that your own gifts are a big part of it and that it provides cohesion to the rest of it. And then we name it as its own thing. And now you have a proprietary method, right? Businesses need something proprietary to sell, right? If you sell things that are not proprietary, then you are easily replaced, and also that competition can erode you. We do not want your competitors to set your prices for you. You want the value that you provide to the market to be what sets your prices, okay? We want your own ability to sell to be part of what sets your prices. We want you to be competition proof. To be competition proof, you need to be doing something proprietary because if you're offering something that other people offer and people see, your clients see that the price is, X, you won't be able to sell it for much more than X unless it's different, right? But why is it different? Because there's something unique that you provide. So let's name it the unique thing instead. And then you can charge whatever you want. Now the only thing you're limited by is your own abundance consciousness and your own sort of influence ability and also your market's buying ability. So you want to choose a market who can buy stuff. You want to learn the skill of influence. You also want to increase your own abundance capacity so that when your messaging and offer are really good, it works, okay? And so I'll have other videos that talk about abundance capacity, and video 4 in this series is going to talk about influence and how you can increase your ability to influence people. And video 5 will talk about actually abundance capacity. Okay, so you'll get those in this video series. Okay, so now we are on number 7, which is vehicle, and you're going to construct a vehicle that's proprietary, that is unique, that's a new way of getting the results according to the truths that you've outlined in your model. Okay, if you want help doing this is one of the main things I help my clients with. I'd love to have a talk with you about it, especially if you're doing $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 months already. I can very quickly get you to 10, 20, and 30K months, mostly because we tweak your offer and we tweak your message, and I show you how to use Facebook to get clients using presence marketing, of course. And I'd love to help you with this one-to-one on a call. If you book it below, I will show you how. Okay, so number 8 is the process. So now that they have a model, which is like a three-dimensional map of how they're getting there, and now that they have a vehicle that they can use to traverse the model, to travel along from point A to point Z across the model, which is a three-dimensional or even like a multi-dimensional model of how things work. Now you just kind of label the different stepping stones. There's different milestones. First, we set up your Facebook page. Then we set up the Facebook group. Then we build your offer. Then we build your message, blah, 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 blah. First we raise your vibration. Then we identify limiting beliefs. Then we overcome limiting beliefs within a high vibration. Then we do extra healing. Then we set you up for community and self-love so you can sustain these results, whatever. There's some sort of process, right? One of my offers, I had 11 spiritual steps. There's 11 spiritual steps that you can take. They're called 11 spiritual steps to awaken your dream life or something like that. 11 spiritual steps to awakening. And those were to help you get into the spiritual groove and to stay in the spiritual groove and to never fall out of the spiritual groove, right? And so the method is good, but you need a road for the vehicle, right? You need milestones along the road. So let's call out those milestones. Let's talk to people about that right now. Okay, so that's step number 8. And then we have number 9, is you sell them on their own ability. People need to believe in themselves to be able to use your vehicle to navigate the model and to follow the steps. Okay, so you sell them on their own ability. Then you sell them on time, that this is the right timing. This is the right timing. Their circumstances are correct. They're not going to find better circumstances. This is the right time for them to get the results. Then you sell them on the fact that the money is tiny compared to the results, essentially that the value far exceeds the money, so that the money is there. And then the last step is you sell them on their own ability to make a decision now. Okay, so those are the 12 steps that you can use. I'm gonna share more about it in the coming videos. I'll talk to you soon.